psychic. They might be a lot smarter than their siblings. And this has been reported to be happening in the children, the offspring of some abductees. It's something that we have to study more, but there seems to be a process going on. Now, many abductees also report that there is breeding in incubators on board these craft, and that they are attempting to produce a mix, an alien-human hybrid mix. So that's something that's been reported. But we don't have scientific evidence to back up any of that. So it's only more or less hunches.
The other thing that's kind of disconcerting about the abduction phenomenon, not only for the people that have been abducted and can communicate about it, is that there really doesn't appear to be any free will in this. They're taken, they're manipulated into the craft, and it's happening beyond their will. That's the part that's disturbing about this. They don't have any say about it. They're just being taken, captured.
That is true, and that is a very disturbing part of the whole abduction phenomenon, is that people are taken against their will. They have no way of stopping this from occurring. And I have abductees who are suspected abductees, at least, who contact me very frequently. And, I try to give them emotional support for what they're going through, some understanding, because most of these people have no one that they can even talk to about this.
I've done an interview with Barbara Lamb and also Mary Rodwell from Australia. And some people think that the people who are abducted, those souls, have agreed to this experience before they incarnated. Even if that is true, it doesn't seem like a soul would agree to this.
Well, we're going
we're going way, way beyond. But there are some people who, particularly in ufology, do not want to consider that a part of what's happening is not okay. There are some people in the ufology field that think that all of this is love and light and good, and that these beings are going to make life better for us and they're here to help us and all that. It's a worldview. It's a cosmology.
Yes, it is.
However, I have to tell you my bias. My bias is that it's somewhere in between. It's not that, but it's also not that they're all horrendous. It's somewhere in between, just like everything. There seems to be a balance of terrible experiences, trauma in life afterward, difficulty coping, and also some beneficial experiences. But the fact that people cannot exercise their free will and are manipulated to go on board this craft, and they can't control their bodies when this is occurring, this is the disturbing part, because it's like the way we treat rats in a laboratory.
You're absolutely correct on that. I agree completely.
Can you talk a little bit about the star map and the book that Betty talked about that was shown to her on board the ship?
Yes, but before I do, I want to mention that this was also part of Betty's dream material. She dreamed these things before she relived them under hypnosis. And under hypnosis, her statements were slightly different. The technology was different than it was in her dreams. The technology in the 1960s dreams was 1960s technology. The star map came about because Betty asked the leader where he was from. She said, "I know you're not from around here. Where do you come from?" And he produced a star map. In the dream, it was a star map that would roll down just like a window shade. But under hypnosis, it was a three-dimensional star map that she remembered, like a hologram.
Okay.
And it had 12 stars that were connected by either solid lines or dotted lines, and then there were 3 more stars that were fairly prominent that were not connected by lines. Now, some of these were as large as nickels, some were only pinpoints. And Betty spoke to the leader about this. She asked him where he was on the map. And he said, well, do you know where you are? And she said, no, I don't. And he said, well, if you don't know where you are, then I can't tell you where I am. You wouldn't understand, that sort of thing. So then he just made the map go away and left her sort of hanging there with the memory of what the map looked like. It was about 2 feet by 3 feet. She was standing sort of looking up into it, and the map appeared in the first book that was written about their experience, The Interrupted Journey, by John Fuller. It was published in the fall of 1966. Now, Marjorie Fish, who was a very intelligent woman from Ohio, she was a school teacher, amateur astronomer. She was a Mensa associate. She had majored in biology in school, read the book, and she was skeptical, but she reasoned that if the star map depicted an area in our not our solar system, in our galaxy, then she might be able to find it. So she went about building some 3-dimensional models of our galaxy. And she started going out to 50 light years. In all, she built 26 models based upon Betty's 2-dimensional drawing. She was seeking a pattern based upon Betty's drawing. And she used monofilament line and beads. The great difficulty that she had is in acquiring the data to use. Those astronomical catalogs that she needed couldn't be purchased on the market anywhere. She had to go to Ohio State University and get the information. She had to copy all of it down by hand. I can't imagine the math that she went through in placing all of those different stars in their proper location. And although she built 26 different models, she still wasn't able to find a match. And it wasn't until 1972 that she actually found the match. She had 256 stars in their proper location, and she only found the match after the last 3 stars were published in a catalog. They hadn't appeared in any catalog before that. We had just discovered them. They were not known in 1961 when Betty said she observed this map. They were not known in 1964 when Betty drew it from memory as a result of a post-hypnotic suggestion. And in that match, the 2 base stars were Zeta 1 and Zeta 2 reticuli. We believe that those 2 stars are at least 1 billion years older than the Sun. Some say they're 2 to 3 billion years older than the Sun. And they are about 39 light years away from our Sun. There were and they were connected by a number of solid lines, the 2 of them. So if they're fairly close together, it would give one civilization an incentive to travel to the next one. They could see each other. That's Stan Friedman's take on all of this. And Stan was the first to publish on the star map, on Marjorie's work. Stan was actually called in by Coral Lorenzen, who was the director of APRO. And she